So how is it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Cyberpunk 2077 news video. Now there's actually a fairly decent amount of information that I want to go over for you guys today. A little bit of this carries over from yesterday, but I was pretty busy with Thanksgiving dinner and stuff visiting my family, so I'm going to carry that over to this video. But before we get into the news, if you guys are new to Cyberpunk and you don't really know much about the different life paths for the game, if you guys need help deciding on which life path to choose when you start up Cyberpunk 2077, consider checking out my latest videos. They've been getting a lot of positive feedback. People really enjoy these videos, so I think they do a pretty good job of giving you some of the basic information you might need for picking a life path. So getting into the news, the first thing I want to go over is the file size of the game. We now know the file size for Cyberpunk 2077. The base game is going to be about 71 gigabytes. Now this is not including the day one patch, so who knows how big that could be. I mean, day one patches I've seen vary from, numerous sizes. They've been anywhere from like 2 to 3 gigs all the way up to like 10 plus gigs, depending on the game. I know Call of Duty Warzone updates were always just extremely large. So realistically, after the day one patch, your game's probably going to be close to about 80 gigabytes would be my best guess. And then you can start your pre-download on the 8th, and then the official launch is going to be on the 10th. Now this varies depending on your region and your time zone, but as most people probably know by now, you can get around this for some games by switching the region onto your console. I know you can do it for Xbox, I've done it for a number of different games. So you might be able to play this game a little bit early depending on what you have your console region set to. So next up, Cyberpunk confirmed some pretty big news today. On Twitter, they said, "Attention console players, if you start playing Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you'll be able to continue playing it on a corresponding next-gen console. Here's how cross-saves will work." So if you have an Xbox One and you want to switch it over to Xbox Series X, with the Smart Delivery, it allows you to continue playing the game on the Xbox Series X from where you left off on the Xbox One. It says make sure you are connected to the internet so your save data is uploaded to the cloud, or connect both your Xbox One and Xbox Series X to the same network and use the system network transfer option. And then if you are playing on PlayStation 4 and you want to make the switch to PlayStation 5, you'll be able to do so with the cross-save backwards compatibility. This also means your save files from the PlayStation 4 will be compatible, and you'll be able to pick up the game at the same point where you left off as long as you're using the same PlayStation account. You can connect to your PlayStation Plus account and upload your saves, or you can transfer your data via a LAN cable or wireless connection through Wi-Fi, or you can use a compatible storage device to copy and transfer your save files to the same PSN account on your PlayStation 5. So this is absolutely huge news for a lot of people because the next-gen consoles are extremely hard to come by right now. I was extremely lucky when I was able to get my PlayStation 5, and I've still not been able to get an Xbox Series X yet, even though I've tried literally every single time they've gone live on all these different websites. They sell out within seconds due to all these bots trying to grab them up. So a lot of people are going to be playing Cyberpunk on their PS4s and their Xbox Ones, and they're going to want to at some point make that transfer. And this is great news. This is good reassurance. And then next year when they have that next gen update and they have updated graphics and better performance modes, everybody's going to be able to just pick up right where they left off. But that is not all. This might not come to any surprise to some of you, but Cyberpunk's DLC reveal is being delayed until after launch. Now, I almost had a heart attack today when I saw this article because I saw Cyberpunk 2077 and delay in the same sentence, so I thought we were getting another delay, but this is just the DLC announcement, and it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I figured they would probably delay it till afterwards. It wouldn't really make sense to announce the DLC before the game comes out. But in the article, they go on and they interview the CD Projekt Red president, and in it he says the initial plan was to do it before release, but after the recent delay, we decided to wait for the release to provide gamers with the game and then start talking about future projects. And then when talking a little bit about the DLC, he says that you can expect a similar scenario to what we had for The Witcher 3. Cyberpunk 2077 will get DLC at least as large as The Witcher 3, and will have both free DLC alongside paid expansions. So if you didn't know anything about the DLC or how CD Projekt Red likes to do their DLC, they absolutely love to take care of their player base, and they give out just tons of big free DLC updates. The Witcher 3 had an absolutely insane amount of free DLC, and then their paid expansions came with hours and hours and hours of content, and they went on sale all the freaking time. So you just get an absolutely great deal when it comes to DLC from CD Projekt Red. So I cannot wait. I can only imagine how much content's going to come to the game after the fact. And I think that just really drives home the final nail into the coffin of like why you should buy this game. Like if you haven't been convinced up to this point, and now that you know we're getting these huge DLC expansions, I mean, you really have nothing to lose. And then as he was talking about the DLC, he was asked about the multiplayer aspect. He said it's a separate dedicated production, and we think about it as a standalone product. Obviously, it's not entirely standalone as it comes from the universe of Cyberpunk and is very much related to the concept of single-player Cyberpunk. So I think a good comparison here for the multiplayer would be to something like Red Dead Redemption 2 or Grand Theft Auto Online, where it exists in the same universe, but it's kind of an expansion of what you played in single player. He said it's another independent production, an independent team of people works on it. I said already, we are not focusing right now on talking too much about other future products that are to be released after Cyberpunk, so please be with us in the first quarter of next year when we plan to share some strategy update. And I believe Cyberpunk multiplayer will be possible. So yes, the news for DLC is getting delayed, but honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think too many people are going to be focused on playing the main game itself for a couple months, and I think they'll release the information about the DLC when the time is right. And then at one of the latest investor calls, when CDPR was asked about how the game was going to perform on the PS4 and Xbox One, they said that the PS4 and Xbox One's performance is surprisingly good given the game's huge world. So obviously it's going to play better on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and on PC, obviously. But like I said earlier, the majority of people are going to be playing it on PS4s and Xbox Ones. So that's definitely reassuring to know that the PS4 and the Xbox One are performing pretty well. They're obviously going to be a bit slower, they're not going to look as polished, but you shouldn't run into too many problems on the last gen consoles. And then the final thing that I want to touch on is that Keanu Reeves has in fact played Cyberpunk 2077, and apparently he loves it. CD Projekt Red's president revealed that Keanu has been playing Cyberpunk and that he loves the game. Now I'm a little skeptical here with this article because we don't know how much of a gamer Keanu is. He could just be saying that because he was in the game himself. I mean, if I was playing a huge open world RPG and I was one of the main characters and I got to play as myself and I got to run around and, you know, kill stuff, I mean, I'm sure I would probably love it as well, but we just don't really know how much context there is behind this. Keanu could be an absolutely huge gamer behind the scenes. We just don't know how much he plays video games. We don't know how much of the game he actually saw. Maybe they just showed him like a snippet here or there. So take that information however you please. I personally think that the game's going to be an absolute blast, and I cannot wait. So that is going to do it for all the information that I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. That way you guys don't miss out on any future Cyberpunk 2077 news videos. If you haven't yet, follow me on Twitch at SwanyPlaysGames Live, and be sure to check out the channel's Discord. And that is going to do it for me, everyone, and I will talk to you all in the next video.